Hello, my name is Julie. Welcome to my channel, and in this video it is a crochet tutorial on how to make my pie dishcloth. Now I have several different pies here. Actually this is my original, this is the original pattern I wrote on my blog years ago. This is a small version that has the intersect, actually you can tell where the blue lines, they intersect with each other. Some of the pink lines intersect. But I have a large version, and if you look, the blue lines don't intersect with each other. But also what is different with this dishcloth is that I think I did a version where I put in a circle in the center, or start to make it circular, and then it works out this way. That way, because usually beforehand with this version is usually you have to really cinch that center. But if you don't want, if you don't want the circle, want this version. So both versions will be in the video. So without further ado, let's get started on making this dishcloth. Okay, to make our pie dishcloth, I'm using Premier Just Cotton yarn. And remind you, I got this at Dollar Tree. It is Premier Just Cotton. It is 87 yards or 80 meters, 1.7 ounces or 50 grams, and it is a size 4 medium weight yarn. And this color is pink. And I'm going to use another color, and that color is turquoise marl. Of course, you can use any cotton yarn you would like, or any size 4 cotton yarn you would like. So to get started, I'm going to start with the pink. I have made my pie dishcloth pattern a while back, and I'm adding a new addition. Right, as soon as I find the beginning of this ball. Alright, I'm going to make a magic ring. If you are not comfortable making a magic ring, you can just chain 4, slip stitch into the first stitch to make a ring of 4 single crochets, but I am making a magic ring. Chain 1. I'm going to do 8 single crochets into this magic ring. And 8. Close my ring. And I'm going to put 2 single crochets into every single crochet for a total of 16 single crochets. So that's 2, 3, 4. Okay, you might have noticed that I'm putting my tail in while I'm doing this, so I don't have to sew a tail in later. So you can see into both loops 2 single crochets, so this will be 6. 7 and 8. And then we have finally we're 16. Alright, what we're going to do now is slip stitch into the next stitch. Now we're going to actually start our dishcloth part. We are going to chain 19. I'm going to chain 19 loosely because I want to go into the back hump of the chain. So we're going to chain loosely 19. That's 19. Now into the back hump, we are going to do a single crochet in the second chain from a hook and in each chain across for a total of 18 single crochets. So we're going to do a single crochet in the back hump across for 18. I have 18 single crochets. What we're going to do now is slip stitch in the same stitch we had slip stitched before. And then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. And turn. We're going to skip, I don't know if you can see, we're going to skip this loop. We're going to skip this stitch and this stitch. And since the two stitches we just slip stitched into. And we are going to single crochet in the back loops of 18 single crochets across. So we're single crocheting into the back loop. You see, that's that loop. You see two loops on a single crochet. We're going into the back loop. Now when we get to the 18th single crochet, we're going to change into this other color. Okay, before we get to the last one, I'm going to get this color ready. So to change colors to like any project, we're going to start our single crochet as normal, but before we finish up with the final loop, we're going to do that in the new color. And we finish our single crochet up in the new color. There you are, we chain one, and we turn. Now we are going to do a single crochet into the back loops of only the next 15 single crochets. So that's one, and we're going to do a single crochet into 15 single crochets. So we have done single crochets in 15 single crochets, and then you notice we have 3 left. We are going to leave those unworked. We're going to chain one and turn and single crochet in the back loops back to the other side or back to the beginning of the row. And then we are going to change colors again. Excuse me. We're going to change colors again when we're back. Beginning of the row, back to pink. Alright, so now we're back at the 15th last single crochet. We're going to start it again and draw up our pink yarn. Try not to pull too tight because we don't want to bunch the end. So just don't pull it too tight, but just tight enough. Chain one, and we're going to turn. And now we're going to single crochet in the next 12, leaving these last 3 unworked. So single crochet in the back loops of the next 12. Alright, we are at the end here, and we're going to leave these 3 unworked. chain 1 and return, and we single crochet back to the beginning. Okay, we're going to change over to back the other color, to the blue, and we don't want to pull too tight. Chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to single crochet into the next 9, and you can probably catch what we're doing. We're doing 3 less per round, well, per 2 rounds. So we're going to single crochet in the back loops of the next 9. Leaving those 3 unworked, chain 1 and turn. Then we're going to single crochet back among these 9 stitches. Alright, now I'm going to change colors back to the pink. Chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to do a single crochet over the next 6 single crochets in the back loop, of course. Chain 1 and turn, and back in the remaining 6. Change it to blue. Chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to do single crochet in the next 3, the back loops. Chain 1 and turn, and back in the remaining 3. And single crochet to change our color, chain 1 and turn. Now that pretty much completes our first wedge. Now we're going to do a single crochet 18 back along this edge. So we're going to single crochet in the back loops of these stitches, first 3 stitches. Now we're going to single crochet into these 3 stitches. So we're kind of going down the ladder. And we're going to single crochet into these 3 stitches here. Single crochet down into these 3 stitches. single crochet down into these 3 stitches. So yeah, we're going down, kind of going down our, kind of like our steps that we've created. And finally, the last 3 stitches of our original 18 single crochets, we are going to single crochet into those last 3. And now we're back at our circle from the beginning. We are going to slip stitch into the next 2 single crochets of our circle. And we're going to turn. And just like before, we're going to skip these 2 stitches here and single crochet back into the back loops of our 18 single crochets. Okay, so we are on our last stitch, and again we're going to change colors. Chain 1 and turn, and you're just going to repeat everything you just did to make the steps, to make our wedge, and you're going to do that. We're going to make 8 in total. Do that 7 more times, but when you're on the last wedge, alright, I'm just going to show you what to do when we get to the last wedge, because you're not going to go down like we just did. I'm going to make 6 more wedges, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do when we get to the last wedge. Okay, so this, I just finishing up the 7th wedge, and I'm about ready to go down and make the row down this row, and this will be the last time you do this. So we go down, we'll do our 3 single crochets in the back loop of every little step on the way down. Alright, so then we're going, this is the last 2 single crochets left on our circle, so we will slip stitch into the last 2. Then we're going to proceed on our last wedge like normal, but after you finish the last row of 3 single crochets, we are going to stop there. Okay, so we have finished, I finished up the last of the chain 3 of our steps, but we're not going to go down like before. Now we're going to sew or attach this end to this end. You see this long pink stroke kind of finishes up the pattern onto this, goes onto this wedge. So actually this was probably part of the beginning row, was probably part of the last wedge. So we're going to put that together. We can leave a long tail and then sew. So just sew the top of our little stairs onto this. So I'm going to try to slip stitch, slow slip stitch. So this is the right side of the circle. So for this project, this is the right side. Alright, probably the tricky part, so either sew or slip stitch. So we got the first 3 of our step, first 3 stitches on the other side. This is probably why it was helpful to go into the back hump of the foundation chain, because now you got this pretty little chain to work with, compared to if you had not done it in the back loops. So back loop of the foundation chain and the front loop of the stair, we'll call it the stair end, and I'm going to slip stitch, but you could also hand sew this. The back loop of the foundation, back end of the foundation chain, and the front loop of the stair, which is the second one of the top stair. And we're just slip stitching across, so in the next stitch and the front loop of the next one. Now it says we're going into the back loop of the foundation chain, and now we're going down to the next stair or the next level, and then we're just going to slip stitch down the next tier, back loop and front loop on the stair. And we're just going to do that all the way down. The next stitch being now we're down to the next tier on the stair, the front loop, and we're just going to keep this until we're at the very end. Last couple might be hard to see. Okay, I think I just, here we are. We're starting to split for a second. Oh, and there you have it. We are down. Let's see, I have nothing other than if I want to slip stitch. I'll finish you off. Okay, so we're going to finish that end. May have to stretch this out a little bit. It says we have our join. Nearly seamless. So now we need to make the border, so I know that we still have this blue sitting over here, so I'm going to use the blue as the outer border. So I have this stray blue hand. You can cut up and join, but I think I'm just going to insert the hook and just draw up a loop, chain one. And what we're going to do now is pretty much do 3 single crochets for each color. So each color we're just going to throw in 3 single crochets on the outer edge. That will help also cover up. When we were drawing up the loops, or for each row we were drawing up the yarn, so that will help cover that up. So 3 single crochets for each color. I got the pink. So we're just going to do 3 single crochets around each color, trying to cover up where we draw up the yarn. Let me change colors. Right, I'm going to go around and put 3 single crochets for each color, okay, we're doing 3 single crochets for every 2 rows, or for each color. So I'm going to do that around, and we'll meet up with you when we're done. Okay, when you're at the end, all you're going to do is just slip stitch with the first stitch of the round, and we can just finish this off. We finish this off by putting our needle through the next single crochet, kind of pulling it, putting it into all the way through the last loop, the end of the back loop of the stitch we just finished. For a near seamless join. So I'm going to finish sewing in the ends of this dishcloth. So stay tuned to make this without the without the circle in the center. And then this is the shorter version of the dishcloth. Alright, so my original pattern doesn't have the circle in the middle. Plus I have a short version where, see, notice this is my large one where these lines do not intersect each other, but I have a short version that intersects. And to do it without the circle and the short version, we are going to chain, again loosely because we want to go in the back hoops. We're going to do 16 single crochets. So in the second chain from the hook working in the back lump, we're going to do a single crochet, and you're going to do in each one across until you have 15 single crochets. Well, like before, we're going to chain one, and then we're going to do a single crochet in the back loops till the end of the row. Right, and we're going to change colors. And then at this point you just proceed like this one right here, where it's working in the back loops and making single crochet. In this case it'll be only 12. And so far and you proceed like normal onto this. Except the only thing is you're not going to have a circle to go through. Okay, so in this version, without the circle, you're just going to go down our little steps like normal. Just that we don't have anything to slip stitch into, but if we're going to have to eventually cinch this circle, so we're going to try doing a slip stitch into a slip stitch into these bottom two. Kind of help cinch it. Turn, we can chain one. And then we're just like, and then just proceed on like before. We're just going to go up the back loops and then work on our other wedge, and then just proceed to make 8 wedges like before. Alright, I'm at the point where I'm going to join at the end of the round the steps with the beginning. And I don't have, it says I don't have the circle in this one, but it's the same as before, but this time I'm just going to, this round I'm going to, I cut off a long enough tail. I'm going to have this as my right side. And I'm just going to whip stitch back loop to the front loop. So that just put the first tier. We must have. Go back loop to front loop. I'm just going to stitch the first. Three. And then I just go down to the next step. It's kind of like before. Then on to the next stitch. And just proceed on down. Okay, note I probably should have stitched it in the color of the base color, which was the blue. But I think it probably would have been more invisible if I had done that. But it'll be okay. Okay, but then again, we got this. It's probably one of the reasons why I was just experimenting with adding the circle in the beginning, because now we have this hole. You're just pretty much going to have to go around and cinch the hole up. Probably just weave through around it, around the hole. Right, just keep sewing until gotta sew to close up the hole. Trying to make sure that that is well secure. Okay, once that's finished, you go the border. I still have the blue. And with the blue, you do the same as the border we did for this one, which is 3 single crochets for every group of 2. So pretty much we're doing 2 single crochets in like one row and one in the next row. Right, I will finish that off and reveal what this one looks like when it's done. And there you have it, my pie dishcloth. Here's one with a circle in the center, and here we have it without, the short version. And if you want, you can make the short version also with the circle in the center. Again, you just make sure you crochet. You make a chain of 16 after the circle. So if you did like this tutorial, please give it a like. Want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel. And I want to thank you for watching. And I will see you in my next video. Bye now.